Hello everybody, it's vanburman here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think this is the third episode. So I think we're coming up to that iconic scene now, with Cloud when he has to fend off all those troops and then jumps onto the train. I don't think that's going to be a spoiler for anybody. I can't imagine anyone watching this has not already seen the game. Oh, I didn't even notice actually in that fountain breaks apart. So this one I'm having to record after the fact. There was a few choice words that I made in the live cut of this video, but unfortunately I don't know where that one's gone. My recording software didn't save it. Well, it did. There's a 9-byte file that couldn't be opened. Obviously 9 bytes is not going to be enough for coming on to 50 minutes worth of audio. So one of the things that I was musing, I don't know if I mused this in the last video, but in this one, is that the dogs seem to be really powerful, you know, compared to their human counterparts. I know it's just a enemy variation, but still, shock troopers are a pain in the arse as well. But you know, it's good to have enemies that are a bit of a challenge, and I think we'll probably see a lot more of that going forward as well, you know, as we go forward in the game. So, a couple of different enemy types in this, or a different enemy type being the riot trooper. So one of the things I thought was that if we use braver as an ability, we might be able to smash through his defense and do a fair bit of damage, which it did look like it was the case. It's good to see a bit more of a variety. I'm not really keen on variety for variety's sake, though. I think it's just one of them, isn't it? So we've got this other one as well called the Huntsman. I don't know really where he fits in, or whatever. Maybe he's just like one of those, like a captain, I guess, of the guards or what have you. So yeah, he does a fair bit of damage if he gets you, and obviously the swing on Cloud's sword has got quite a big AOE, so you do end up hitting the shields every so often. Now this is quite funny because before I'd used that on a guy, one of the normal riot troopers, and broke through his defense shield and hit him, but not the case this time. Riot shield, boom boom, double hit there with a good amount of damage as well, to be fair. So I thought, you know what, maybe fire will get us through it, and it does. So opens up a lot of avenues. At least the game is making me take different approaches than just trying to slash my way through everything. And that's, from that side of things, the combat's appreciated. Wonderful. I suppose we can watch the rest of this fight until we get to the cutscene.
No escapes.
Close enough now. That's it, link the two together. I wouldn't say I've quite got the system down yet, I'm talking from a point a few videos on. But I'm definitely getting there. The more complex enemies I'm fighting, the better I seem to be getting. So I don't know where the... Oh, there's something there. At least I don't know where he's gone.
Wait, I know that.
We're going to have some link now to Crisis Core, maybe. Retroactively going back and including all the prequels in the new games. I didn't think of that at the time, but it did just ring true now a little bit. The cargo cart scene.
No need to assume the worst. I'm sure he's fine.
Thinking about it, the bomb I made shouldn't have produced an explosion that big. It doesn't make any sense.
The explosion triggered a reaction with the Mako. You said so yourself.
That was my first guess, but shouldn't a reactor have fail-safes to prevent that kind of thing?
No, Shinra wouldn't let that
You
happen.
mentioned invisible enemies back there, right?
Right.
No. I'm just looking for excuses for something that was clearly my own fault. Gotta own up to it if I'm gonna learn from this and move on.
For excuses that make no sense and aren't in the original game. So I'm sure those of you that have played this game previously are well aware of this scene
Maniacs would go so far
where the
as to
guys
bomb a reactor.
chatting rubbish about Avalanche, and Barrett's like, "You what?" And he smashes the wall or the train behind him, and the guy's like, "Oh no, sorry, I didn't say anything." You know, proper backtracking.
Quit talking out your ass.
And now we've got this really bizarre scene. I'll
Only
stop
cares
talking.
about saving the planet.
Just who do you think you are?
A law-abiding, concerned citizen.
Law-abiding? Really?
Shh. Don't antagonize him.
In my humble opinion, that explosion was a message. A message to the bastards bleeding our planet dry. Think they got it? Heard it loud and clear? Y'all's masters?
We will not submit to intimidation or violence, but work together for peace and prosperity. That is how civilized people change the world.
That's right.
That is the Shinra Creed.
Them's fighting words.
It's what we believe. We all have to follow our conscience, don't we?
We should go.
Right.
Time for a little nap.
Artistic interpretation or change for change's sake?
This train is slow.
I will defer that to whoever's watching to make their own opinion upon that one.
I didn't hear any.
Get this out of the way.
Now, this bit on the contrary
Personally, I
is
think
something that
blades make the dull stuff a lot more bearable.
I really enjoyed in the original game.
There's an initiation rite.
Is, you know,
Many times do I have to
I
tell
preferred
you?
it in the original game, but just that diagram
Such a thing as playing
where there's
two
zoom out
options.
and you can see
So,
the
here's
structure
our
of
wireframe
Midgar,
model of
and you can
great
see
city
the
of Midgar, complete with
the train
massive
tracks
steel
as well.
plates suspended 300 meters above ground level, atop which stands a shining beacon of civilization. The whole system is sustained by the Mako reactors, which feed the insatiable appetites of the public.
The train will be passing through an ID checkpoint shortly.
This here is the train's route. As you can see, it'll take us around this main pillar. Look, we're about halfway through it now. They've set up a checkpoint here to scan the IDs of all passengers heading in and out. Date of birth, residential status, criminal history, all that and more is automatically cross-referenced in their databases. Public security wouldn't have it any other way. Heads up. Don't worry, our IDs are impeccable. What'd I tell ya? Have a little faith. Won't be long till we reach the bottom. Relax.
Take a good look. It's because of that great big pizza in the sky that people down there gotta struggle to survive. Shinra sucks up Mako while the soil turns to dust.
Famous line
Air fills with
said
smoke,
by Barrett
and
Wallace.
Flowers die.
Then leave and don't look back. That's what's always worked for me.
Well, that's all well and good. If you're only out for yourself. But the folks down there don't have the luxury of choice, you know?
Eco-warriors with their dumbass posters.
I don't really care much for this Dementor crap, but I thought I'd just leave this scene in for you to see.
I mean, look at all that steel work. You trying to tell me that's not progress? What the? You okay, buddy? Mako junkie, huh? Figures.
You again.
So finally arrived at 7th Heaven, and Tifa's there with Marlene, obviously. I tried to divert my way around to have a look at the rest of Sector 7, but it wasn't possible. The game was very much of the opinion that I should go in and start the cutscene, so I did.
Daddy, you're home.
That's right, Angel. I
Welcome
am.
back.
Have you been a good girl?
Yeah, I've been helping Tifa.
Oh, you did you? Well, well.
You made it. Where'd you get that? I can't remember the last time I saw a real one. Huh? How sweet. When
And
did you
one of the
get
things
it?
that I should say as well, especially in regards to, you know, like just the more RPG-ish elements of it, is that, you know, previously we were given an option to give, you know, the flower to Marlene or to Tifa. And, you know, while they had, I believe it had very minor implications, as in, you know, sort of how your affinity was with Tifa going forward, you know, for the Golden Saucer scene and all that. But, you know, there's just a distinct lack of choice in here, which I know it's choice. I know the original game was choice for choice's sake. You know, they're very minor iterations of the same thing. But the fact that that's been completely taken away sort of lessens the experience, for me at least, anyway.
Hey, what the hell you think you're doing, scaring my daughter like that?
Daddy says never talk to strangers.
That's right, honey, I do say that. What a good girl you are remembering Daddy's lessons. You know what else good girls do? They go to bed on time. Come on.
But I'm not tired. I want to talk some more, Daddy.
All right, but just this once.
So then, what can I get you?
My money. I'm still waiting on it.
Right. About that, we should talk outside.
Daddy? Did the people who died?
So in this bit, we're basically going to,
And here
well,
we are,
Cloud's
good old
room,
Stargazer
rather than, you
We're
know,
on the
taking
same
the pinball machine down into the den and, you know, where they all sort of like slept together because it was sort of like an underground operation. And there's none of that in this, and it's all been totally cut. So, you know, all that dialogue and all that like funny, stupid stuff, you know, around the fact of, oh, you know, how did you sleep last night and all that sort of stuff. I'm sure you'll know if you've played the game, played the original. But, you know, all that stuff's been moved away. There's also like a bit here where Tifa is really cagey about the person who lives in the room next door. And I won't spoil that because we'll go through that again together. But it's all unnecessarily, you know, kept apart and convoluted compared to how it was. I mean, there's lots of ways you can incorporate what you want to incorporate, without taking away stuff that is the essence of it. Like for me, the Midgar stuff, with it being very contained and, you know, very linear really for the first part of the game when you compare to when you get to the world map. You know, it was nice to have that really specified, specific experience. Lots of is there, but and also in this game we only get 500 gil. In the last one, you get 2,000, 1,500, 1,500, I think. Like off the bat, Barrett's like, yeah, you know, I've got this money for you, I'm paying you. You know, you've done the job, you get the money. Whereas Avalanche sort of loses a lot of their credibility with this, and instead we have to do well, other stuff to get it. We'll go through, like I say, we'll go through that later on. That's the problem with having played more of the game and now going back and doing the voiceover, but still.
You're the best.
Hey, you okay in there? Oh. Coming in.
Gotta say, that's quite funny. Cloud getting his sword stuck on the door. And, you know, more Sephiroth. Because we have to cement him as the bad guy. You know, we can't just, like, introduce him, like, 10 hours into the game and have him be a credible enemy.
Get off me!
Get off me! Hey. See, what is this Harry Potter bullshit? Whisperings, I don't normally say those sort of things. Yeah, okay, the reunion stuff can come into it, but God, you absolute labouring on the point here. Like, people think that this is fine just to hole up this guy in a torn robe with the number 49 tattooed on him, like barely survive, you know, barely breathing, barely able to survive and hold himself up. No, I'm sorry, it's stupid.
Sure.
Absolutely stupid. And this is one of the few bits that I really do take exception with. And in the original, my original take of this was a lot more unforgiving than what I've just given you. So, you know, I've sort of mellowed to it a little bit, if you can believe it.
Morning.
Hey.
Just so you know, Marlene's still asleep. Let's get down to business, shall we?
Huh?
These water filters won't replace themselves. Although the next batch probably could, if Jessie put her mind to it. Most every home in the area has one. Folks love them because they practically eliminate the rotten egg smell. Honestly, they make us more money than this place. And it's easy money too. We bring new filters, collect the old ones, and get paid. What?
Trust me, Cloud, I know exactly. Get it? Exactly. Rotten eggs.
I'm a soldier.
How you feel?
Which is why no one will refuse to pay. What do you say? Please?
Let's get this over with.
Great. And while we're at it,
I'll be honest, I'm literally not going to put in all of this footage about going around the various shopkeepers and changing out their water filters. Because it's stupid. That's why. Apart from, actually, there's one bit I will include. And that's this. Hip Hop de Chocobo. One of the few things I got on my tour around the town. In fact, if I can get a section where we just play that, I will leave that in a video because it's actually a fairly decent remake of the Chocobo theme. I hope they do have the normal Chocobo theme in though, but this as an addendum, as a remix, is quite nice. Probably actually one of the best bits they've done in this remake. You can quote me on that one as well.
Not my style.
So, this bit, right, we go to the landlady who rents Avalanche these apartments for free, and we're going to charge her for a water filter. Now, don't get me wrong, you would have thought, you know, that would be part of the deal, maybe? Like, honestly, totally nonsensical, in my opinion. But there you go. I'm going to leave this last bit in while I wrap up. I just want to say that, you know, I think my criticality comes from a place of genuine, you know, love for the original creative work. And while I do take a lot of exception to a lot of the stuff, and will do as we go on, I'm sure, no doubt, because this really is a totally new artistic take on the Final Fantasy VII world.
Yeah, okay.
And the characters as well. While it is nice to see a lot of the scenery reimagined and in, you know, new graphics, new definition, a lot of this like nuance from the original story I think is lost here, and I'm yet to find anything really that's contained within this that's made me thought, oh, you know what, that adds an extra layer, or that gives me something different. And there's just not so far. I mean, I'm only a few hours in, so it could change. But, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.